to the Pull-Up Experience. We have another great edition for y'all today. We have one of my favorite guests of all time. If y'all don't know about Miss Angel Jakes, I don't know what to tell you, you know? She brought down the house last time. I know she will bring it down this time. She'll tell us, you know, about all the amazing things she's doing since then. And y'all are in for a real treat. So without further ado, Miss Angel Jakes. Then we also got Samantha Walker with us tonight. And then we got my girl Brittany. We'll have a good time tonight. So so what have you been up to, Angel?
So welcome, hello family.
Yes.
Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some energy going. So, what have I been doing? So I've been doing a new thing that I'm trying to cultivate into just a way of life, right? So we grow up and we hear these things like from your parents, your grandparents, just being around your friends or whatever, and then sometimes things stick, right? So I have this thing now that I am using as my next mantra, right? The last time I was here, it was hustle is a skill, which is always
that's gang,
right?
Yes, absolutely.
Right? So hustle is a skill is going to be always and forever. As if you don't know, now you will know. It's the legacy of my brother, which is how hustle is a skill got onto the map, and so we gonna leave it at that. But throughout my journey here of entrepreneurship, of finding my way without my brother being here and working with a plethora of dope people, I am advocate for the phrase that elevation is a collaborative sport.
Sorry, I had that one time.
I was about to, and I was like, look, she just started.
Right? Like, it is imperative for me to start there because everything else that I say and or do will end up circling back around to the point that elevation is a collaborative sport. And because I don't like to talk just fruitfulness, I want you to leave here with that takeaway. So when somebody says, well, what did you learn today from listening to the Pull-Up Experience? I want you to walk away emphatically and passionate about the fact that elevation is a collaborative sport, and we'll talk a little bit about why that is.
And you know what? So I remember you went off last time, and I remember you said it, and when you said it in that moment on our interview, I was like, this is a whole mantra, this is a way of life right here, you know?
It is.
And I love it because not only it's something you said it, but you live it.
Yes.
And I mean, we see it through social media, we see you collaborate with so many different amazing people around the city. So I was wondering, once again, I want to give you flowers because once again, I see y'all in these streets, Angel. You know what I'm saying?
Everywhere.
Everywhere, you know what I'm saying?
I appreciate you.
Yes.
I'll be looking for a car because I know her license.
I appreciate you. Support is real, right?
Yeah.
And one of the keen and the most best things that you can do for people is to support them.
Yeah.
And it's free, right? The spirit, the spirit of supporting someone is free.
Yeah.
Now, of course, there's oftentimes you're going to go somewhere and you're going to go to an event that somebody is having, and that's going to cost you to get in, or you're going to buy a hustle as a skill piece of material, and that's going to cost you. But the spirit of supporting people is free. And if people would take more time investing in the fact that me supporting you doesn't take away from anything that I'm doing. Doesn't take no shine away, no light away. We can all eat at the same table, if you will. Right? So I spend a lot of time supporting people because it is part of what my love language is. Now, it might not necessarily be your love language, but it should definitely be a part of your weaponry. You should absolutely be using it.
Come on, keep going
It's
on.
about to be red hot.
But you should definitely be using the avenue of support to help grow yourself, find yourself, right? Decide what you want to do and not to do, what to support in is going to be a way for you to coin who you are and to show love and presence. And if we're not doing that, then the opposite of that is hating. Okay, so if you're not doing that and you are choosing to do the opposite, there's a lot of other things that we got to talk about because something about your situation and the way that you feel about yourself is not well. right? And we want everybody to be well.
Yeah.
And so if you are in a well place, you will have the capacity to realize that supporting someone is a good thing. And it should be an obligation to the human spirit. We are all walking around this earth in our own situations and our own platforms and on our own avenues, but they all touch each other, whether you like it or not. And so if I gotta say this, I want to say it as humbly as I possibly can, that the goal when you touch someone is to help them, to improve them, or to lift them up.
Yeah.
And that should be what everybody is doing always.
Right.
The reason why the world is as dicey as it is because we're not always doing that.
Right.
And if we would regroup in those moments and figure out a way, how can I help Sam today?
Yeah.
Right? How can I support B today? Right? Then I would be thinking positive thoughts always.
Right.
That eliminates the ability for me to slide into what people call depression, people call hating moments, people call dark moments for someone, right? It eliminates your ability to slide into that if you are now grounded and focused on doing something in the opposite direction. So I'm gonna wrap that point up with this. There is a difference. Okay, here's where we get good. Let's get this.
All right.
There is a difference between readjusting and pivoting, right? It sounds like it's the same thing, but there is not. If we were to define pivot by the dictionary, it is always going to have something grounded in that centered space, right? So for even an athlete, right, when they pivot, you're gonna pivot, but something stays planted,
Right.
Yeah.
right? It's even illegal for you to pick that foot up, right? On the pivot. Right. Something has to stay grounded and centered in the space in which you are operating. You are just pivoting or moving slightly to make some kind of adjustment. Readjusting completely means you are changing course. I am no longer going to stay grounded now in my position. I have now decided that this ain't where I need to be.
Right.
And so I got to readjust.
Yeah.
And that may mean I have to get new people around me. That may mean I need to rethink my business plan. That means I may have to rethink who I am in the moment, right? But there's a complete change coming, right? I am to embrace a new direction if that's where the direction is going. That's the readjustment. People, amen.
I'm sorry, let me hear that one time.
Amen.
Because I mean, I'm sorry because I had to hit that one time for the one time because that's so powerful what you said right there. Too many times we I know for me, I thought pivoting was crucial and when readjusting was probably what I needed to do in certain moments of my life.
They're both imperative.
Yeah.
My hope, my request for everyone is to take some time and to realize the difference between the two of them so that you use them efficiently. Okay? They are both critical. There are times where you will need to pivot.
Yeah.
There are times that you will need to completely readjust.
Yeah.
Right? And completely change directions. And do not be scared to do so. You can wake up every morning and reinvent yourself if you so choose to. My goal for everybody is to find their authentic voice. Find out who you are authentically so that when you readjust and you pivot, you readjust and you pivot from a place of purity. If I'm trying to be you and I pivot, I don't know how you would pivot because I'm trying to be you. So I gotta wait for you to do something so that I can do something. You see what I'm saying? If I'm going to mimic your business, whenever your business changes, I gotta wait for you to change before my business can change because it's mimicked after you. This is why you gotta be authentically you. Because you don't really have time to wait to look on the visual of somebody else. Right?
I'm about to say age has an effect on people, you know what I'm saying?
All the time.
But I'm saying like I'm just gonna talk real to people because there's so much information. We live in a social media age, we live in an information age, and there's so much content out here. And it will be overwhelming. I like to tell people all the time, be very careful of information paralysis. You can get so much information now you don't know what to do with.
Yes.
Right? And now you're stagnant or confused about what direction you should be taking or what you should be doing, but you got all the information. This is why you got to take information sometimes a little bit at a time and then stop. Digest that information, be the real MVP of however you're going to articulate or use that information in a practical way to help you grow and build, and then you get some more information later. But just sitting around, just getting information every day, all day like an encyclopedia, you're not doing yourself no justice, B. Right? Information is useful when you can use it in a practical way. So if I have some information to give you, and I'm going to tell you this too, family. This information swirl thing that happens where people are holding on to information because you scared somebody else gonna get something, or you scared they're gonna understand something. You literally have to stop doing that. That's a stronghold that is on you that you need to break. And before, like I said, I'm gonna circle back always to elevation is a collaborative sport. I need you, A, to find your authentic voice, because I don't need you collaborating with people being something that you're not.
Thank you.
Understood? This is why it's critical that you find your authentic voice as soon as you possibly can, so that you can work on strengthening that. So that when you come to the table of elevation, when you come to the table of collaboration, when you come to the table, you come to the table as who you are. When they say, what do you bring to the table? I bring me. Now, what is that? I have to lay that out. But I bring me, whatever that is. You may need what I bring to the table, you may not. Right? That is your choice. We can decide in conversation and interaction if this is a good partnership, a good relationship, a good supportship, a good whatever it needs to be. And if it's not, we get to part ways amicably. Because I didn't trick you into believing I was something that I wasn't, or I'm able to offer you something that I can't. But when the truth is on the table, we can all move forward, and progress is always a win. See what I'm saying?
Somebody pass the tray.
I just want to talk real with the people, because people are drowning out here.
Yes.
People are drowning out here, and they are killing themselves out here, and they are wasting time. And I'm a proponent that we do not have time to waste. Right? I don't like to be morbid, but death is around the corner. I don't know when your time is going to be. It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be next year, it could be 20 years from now, whatever God's will is for your life. But it would behoove you to spend whatever amount of time that you have being authentically you, in case you leave up out of here tomorrow, in case your time is called a year from now, in case it's 20 years from now. It does not help anybody for you not to be who you are called to be. There's something about you that is special. There is something about you that is unique that nobody else can do. I do a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people do. I'm in competition with no one. I sell t-shirts and hoodies. A lot of people sell t-shirts and hoodies. I have no concern about the people that are selling t-shirts and hoodies. I am only concerned about hustle as a skill hoodies. Right? And so when I go back into the lab for creation, or when I try to think about how to scale the business, or when I try to figure out what this means for me and the community in which I serve, I'm not concerned about with True Value t-shirts. I'm not concerned about 2U Wines t-shirts. I'm not concerned about nobody's stuff but mine. And the voice that I put behind it, because I'm clear about who I am. I have found my authenticity. And that is what I'm going to bring to the table. So when people ask me about hustle as a skill, they more or less don't enjoy the fabric of the material. They enjoy the story that goes with it.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yes.
They are not necessarily supporting the gilding that I had ordered to put the logo on. They are supporting what did it mean for you to navigate and take pain and turn it into purpose. And now here you are. Right? Because I can then help them do the same, hopefully. I can then help them find their own life, hopefully. I can then help them say, what is your voice? How do we cultivate that? Hopefully, that is being supportive. That is giving information to somebody else that allows them to be great. I work for a nonprofit called It's Not a Moment, It's a Movement, led by Pastor Kyle Early. Shout out to Kyle. Shout out to Pastor Early. Right? And I tell him all the time, in the capacity of working with him, what is it that you need from me today to be great? It's a question. It's a question. What is it that you need from me today to be great? Because I am invested in you being great. That is how we should treat any and everybody around us. And if you cannot ask the people around you what it is that they need from you to be great, the wrong people are around you. right? The wrong people are around you. And in that moment of you identifying that I'm not real comfortable asking the people around me what they need from me to be great, right? In that moment that you figure that out, you've got to say to yourself, okay, it could be that the wrong people are around me, right? Here is where you readjust. That's not a pivot. That's a complete readjustment. You've got to go somewhere and solidify yourself and say, why am I around these people that I am not holistically ready to ask them what it is that you need for me to be great? I'm not willing to sacrifice my time, my energy, my expertise in order for you to be great. So I need to get around some people where I'm free to ask that question. And if that means I have to readdress the people that I'm around, then that's the readjustment. You see what I'm saying? There's a difference between readjusting and pivoting.
I was waiting because I was going to say, like, at what defining moment do you know whether you need to pivot or adjust? And I think you just beautifully put that, because I'm just like, do I pivot? Do I adjust? Do I do what?
Listen, the pivot is always going to, because by definition, Siri, define pivot. Central point in which one will shaft the person or people around them who the body stays in a central location while moving in another direction. Right? Don't take it from me. I'm just this is the internet. Right? I'm giving you the definition of pivot, meaning that some part of you has to stay centered and grounded in that space. That's how you decide whether it's a pivot. Right? That just means I gotta okay, right? But I'm still centered. If I gotta do a complete redirection and I was going this way and now I'm going that way, I was around these people and now I'm around those people, that's a whole readjustment. That's how you make the difference. That's how you decide. And is a part of me going to stay here and still offer whatever it is I'm offering, or do I need to move on? And there is a blessing in necessary endings. There's a book that somebody gave me called Necessary Endings. It is a beautiful book that describes why that is important, because we also walk around in fear of losing what we have, or in fear of rebuilding what we need. Right? And fear will take you out. Right? Fear will take you out. And so if I'm in fear of losing what I've had, or not being around who I've been around, or doing what I've been doing, I put myself in a position of stagnant growth. Right? I limit myself on the growth that I can have because I'm fearful. Right? When they say open up the box and think outside of the box, it means get outside of the four walls that the box has created for you and see where the world will take you. I cannot do that in fear, so most often people stay inside their box and they call it comfort zone. So if you are out here walking around talking about you in your comfort zone, that's fine. You may even be flourishing in your comfort zone. But you will stay there stagnant until you're able to say there's something more for me, better for me, something that I need to go see. And do not be afraid to fail. So part of the reason why people enjoy my spirit, if you will, is I'm authentic. I'm not trying to be nobody but me, right? And the second thing is I don't care nothing about failing. I done failed so many times. I done told people that part of the best gift I give you is what not to do. When people come to me for business advice or HR advice or advice that they think that I may have for them, I lead with the things that I did that caused me to stumble, and here's the list that you should not do. I'm so good at telling people what not to do. It becomes a gift for them. Because look at the time, the headache that I have saved you if you just do what I told you not to do. I did these things and it did not work out favorably for me. But I had to learn it because I was getting it out of the mud. You've come to me for some level of expertise. I do not have the right to pass down the mud. Who's doing that? There are people who got it out of the mud. Each of us has gotten something out of the mud. The problem with the things that we have learned historically is that getting it out of the mud is some kind of sexy thing to do. Right? It's a barrier. It was a burden. It was painful. It's a sacrifice. And if you should ever get yourself to a place where you have gotten something out of the mud, it is not your job to pass down the mud.
I'm sorry.
Don't pass down the mud.
That's not your job. That is not your job to pass down the mud. So you pass down the jewels that you have, the knowledge that you have, the lessons that you learned, so that somebody else don't have to get it out of the mud. You got some things out of the mud, B, that Naya shouldn't get out the mud.
That's facts.
Right? Because she's a seed of yours, you should pass down some kind of wealthy information. I ain't talking about money. You should be passing down some kind of jewel that says, Daddy did this, but you shouldn't do that. Right? That is called giving people valuable information. That's what we should be doing. I shouldn't be passing down the mud.
And you know what? Sometimes we look to people for advice and we only want to hear
The good stuff.
stuff.
Absolutely.
Oh, this is all you need to do.
Absolutely.
And it's like, but you didn't tell me that whole other side, and now I done fell back even further. So that right there is a whole
Absolutely.
word. That's
Absolutely.
a whole word.
Do not be afraid to fail. If you do something and you fail, take it as an opportunity to learn whatever that lesson is. Write it down, meditate on it, go to church on it, sleep on it, have a cocktail if you will. But figure out what you were supposed to learn and then redo it again. If you fail a second time, figure out why you failed the second time and then improve on whatever that is and do it again. That is what success looks like. That is what progress looks like. And progress is a win. Progress is a win. Stop letting social media, if you will, this world, if you will, people around you, if you will, who are only going to tell you the glorious parts of the story, right? So stop letting somebody tell you the shiny part of the book, right? When there was some work that got done to get there. And so you failing at some things is part of your journey. It's part of your testimony. It's just part of the course. Don't be afraid to do that. If you are afraid to fail at some things, then you are afraid to let your journey have its full potential. Because you can't just win all the time. Right? Somebody lying if they tell you they winning all the time.
But that's what social media is. I'm not going to show you the stumbles and falls. But I'm going to show you when I got the cars and the houses and the money and all that stuff. So
those are the results, people. Right? Like let's be clear about what we're looking at. And I tell people all the time, I gotta hold you accountable for what you take in. And so if social media is depressing you, if this world of content is taking you out, you have the ability to disconnect. The fact that you are not choosing to disconnect means you are a culprit in your own pain. I can't do nothing about that, right? People have to want to be helped. And so if I hear you or you're talking to me or you come to me for any kind of advice and I hear on multiple occasions that social media or the things around you that you are listening to or hearing or visualizing is taking you out and stopping you from winning, then the key is for you to disconnect. If you choose not to disconnect, it's like Harriet Tubman going back to save some folk and they didn't want to go. You see what I'm saying? Harriet even knew in her spirit that elevation was a collaborative sport. She had made it north already and had gotten free. Right? She had went through her painful journey of the travel to north to find a safe place. She did not have to come back. But in her spirit, in her ancestor spirit, she had decided that elevation was a collaborative sport. So she went back to get her people. The problem is not everybody wanted to go. Here's a jewel. Not everybody wants your assistance, and not everybody is ready for help. That is not your cross to bear. Help those who are willing to be helped and be helped by you. There are some people who are willing to be helped, but you just ain't the vessel to do it. Do not take that as a slight. Find out if you can help them find the vessel who could help them if you care. If not, then walk away, readjust, and leave the situation completely so that they can get what they need, even if it ain't from you. Do not let your ego get in the way of somebody else's healing because you're not the one to be the healer. Harriet went back to find some people, and she got hit with some that wanted to go and was ready. She can help those people immediately. Follow me. I know the way. those who she wanted to go, because she knew the suffering they were in, decided they didn't want to go. You got to leave them where they're at until they're ready to go. And when they're ready to go, you might not be the one on the comeback to come get them. Harriet already took her 19th umpteenth trip. She may be done now.
Right.
I may send a protege now. Maybe my protege will be able to help you, but my job is done. I went back and saved who I was supposed to save. And this is what I'm telling people. You got to be very careful of the energy you are expelling. You've got to be very careful about the people that are around you, because if you are not willing to be all in with the people that are around you, you are around the wrong people. And that's a judgment call on you. So one of my social media mentors is what I call him, always says, audit your circle. He said it a couple years ago and it stuck with me. And I thought to myself, well, how often are you supposed to audit your circle? So I flew to Atlanta one day. He was doing a TED talk. I said, okay, let me go down here and see what he's talking about. Pulled up, got a chance to finally get in front of him, and I asked him the question directly. Shout out to Haitian CEO. I said, how often am I supposed to audit my circle? He said, every time you think about it.
I'm sorry. Can you hit that, please?
And that ain't for me, right? Like, that came from him. He said, every time you think about it, if you're somewhere thinking about something that your circle is going wrong, that's when you're supposed to audit. I said, well, what you mean? He's like, if that happens monthly, then so be it. If it happens yearly, then so be it. If it's happening every day, then so be it. But understand the frequency in which it's happening is a direct reflection about what's going on with you. So if you got to keep auditing your circle on a daily, right? We would hope that it's yearly, maybe. But if it starts to be monthly, weekly, daily, something going on with you. Something going on with you. It's not always about everybody else. There's some self-reflection that you have to do to figure out, why am I always in a position that every Tuesday I got to reevaluate who I'm with. Your selection game is off. Right? Your loyalty game is off. Right? And people are out here acting weird. And I'm here to dispel, let's get the spirit of weird off of people. But you know why? People are acting weird because they have not found their authenticity. And they are out here operating out of a voice that is not there, so they are acting weird. And then you got people that are like, well, I act weird, and they use it as a crown. No, different and weird are not the same thing. You could be different. Be different from the crowd. That's cool. Shots out. But weird is a problem. Weird is a problem. Siri, define weird. Siri does her thing. See what I'm saying? An intense disbelief or alienation of something supernatural that is connected to weird, strange, or bizarre. Wow. You understand what I'm saying? You're not weird because you're acting different. That's strange and bizarre. Weird people are acting strange and bizarre. Right? These are not adjectives that you want associated with you. Strange and bizarre. So if people are acting weird, including yourself, you have to do a diagnostic and say, what is going on? What about me got everybody around me acting weird? What about me keeps me selecting circles and people and places and things that I want to be around that are weird? Right? There's some self-reflection that has to happen there, because weird is not the goal. Weird is not the goal. Bizarre, strange, that's not the goal, family. That's not the goal. The goal is to be whole. The goal is to be walking in your purpose. The goal is to have a keen voice, a keen idea of what your authentic voice is, and then walk heavy in that. Right? Walk heavy in it. Be grounded in it. 10 toes down, as the streets say. You want to be so authentically you that that's what you lead with. You see what I'm saying? I don't got to wait for nobody else to show up to figure out how I'm going to act. You got to wait for that. I'm going to act like me because me showed up. I don't have to watch your social media to figure out what I'm going to post tomorrow. Right? I don't have to look at what you got going on to figure out what my next move is. Because me showed up. The authentic me shows up. And that's what people should be doing. They should be trying to find their authentic voice.
Let's tell the episode, by the way. Keep it in your phone for me. Thank you. No, but I mean, because where was I was somewhere and someone was saying depression is what happens in your body when you're not being your authentic self.
Come on, preach.
And when that hit me, I was like, oh man. Because the times in my life where I felt I was quote unquote depressed was moments where I wasn't being my authentic self.
Dang.
Mm-hmm.
That's real.
Yes, it is.
Now I'm listening.
Yes, it is.
And it's interesting because I'm like, oh, I've never heard those words defined. Mm-hmm. And it's like we use these words so freely and so loosely.
Yeah.
Oh, this is my friend. Oh, why you being weird to
me?
Right. That's like a thing. And it's like we're saying these words, but we don't actually know the meaning of them. We just use them.
Absolutely.
Because I'm like, I feel a little ignorant. You know?
Hey, but thank you for Angel for coming on to be able to show us a different perspective.
That's just a little real talk, right? Like, you know, most times people want to talk about entrepreneurship and business, and I'm here for it, right? But I'm walking around watching people not be well, right? And if you're not well, neither will your business be. So if you want, we want to
that one time. Did you hear what she said?
Look, here.
I'm sorry. Just wind that back. Did you hear what she said?
If we really want to talk about business, and I want to respect the platform, so let's talk about entrepreneurship and how that really works for real. But if you're not well, neither can your business.
That's real.
And whatever your product is a direct reflection of who you are. And if you're not well, you can't tell me that does not trickle down into the business and or product or service. So the key is for you to be well. How and the other part of the key for me for you to be well is because I want you to be able to seek out and attach yourself to people so that you can have this spirit of elevation. It's a collaborative sport. But I do not need a bunch of unwell people collaborating. Right? I don't need people going to well people as well as they could possibly be. I think we're all healing from something. But as well as they could possibly be, and then here you come with your unwell, weird self to the table talking about what can we do. We can't do nothing till you get well and unweird. Right? Because this is where we are in this world. We have this idea that it is a every man for himself situation, and it's not. Right? Our counterparts don't believe that, which is why major deals go down on the golf course. Right? They don't subscribe to every man for himself. We do that, and I will defend us because historically that has been our pain spot. The gun went off around the track and our counterparts went around 4 times before we were able to be even let out of the bunk. You see what I'm saying? And so we are always in a spirit of catch up. And because we're always in a spirit of catch up and the historical systematic oppression, if you will, that has been attached to us and put on us that we have now had to learn how to survive in, the moment one of us gets to a place of winning, we can only see forward. And we forget that we have to go back and get our people, right? Because you are getting here. I use this example all the time about the person sitting at the bus stop and you driving by in your Range Rover. Am I asking you to get that man a Range Rover? No, but I am asking you to explain to him the process that he can get a Honda. You see what the point is? Why would you continually ride past him every morning at 8 a.m. as he sits in the bus stop when you have mastered some kind of process to elude yourself to getting a Range Rover? It's not the Range Rover I'm after, it's the process in which you executed to get it. You can give him a Jewel of the same process so that he can get a Chevy. You see what I'm saying? That way you don't have to feel some kind of way about talking to somebody. Right? You don't have to judge somebody not being on your level. Right? Because this isn't about levels. This is about me giving you information, data, and intel about a process that will help you win. Ain't that the goal? So I'm scared of people who are not invested in other people winning. I am very fearful of people who don't clap when other people are being applauded. It takes something from me when I watch you be angry at somebody else's win. See, these are all things that you don't have to do to me.
Yeah.
I watch how you treat the people around you.
Yeah.
I make my decision based on that.
Mm-hmm.
Because what you do to me is what I let you do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not even going to give you the opportunity to do what I think you might do if I visualize that you did something to that person in a way that I don't recognize. You see what I'm saying? So you got to be careful about how you're watching people. Which means you got to be careful about the presentation that you give, because somebody should be watching you. And if they're listening to me, I told them to watch you.
Yeah.
So this is why you should be very cautious and very held accountable for how you present yourself, how you handle people, how you talk to people, how you share in wins and losses with people.
Yeah.
When somebody is falling, do you help on the catch up? Or do you do the step over and keep it moving? Because at some point you're going to fall and need somebody to catch you.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Right? And then don't complain about the fall neither. I tell people all the time, I have a high level of risk. And so I have taken some risky transactions or moves in my journey because my risk level is high. And I tell people all the time, see, I jump off the mountain and I scrape my nails and knees and whole body down the mountain, but I'm coming back up. See what I'm saying? I just don't have time. I don't have the patience. I just was never built with patience. I'm working on it, God's will. But I don't have the patience sometimes to wait on people to get well enough to give me the information that I need. And if I wasn't able to secure the information fast enough, then sometimes I'm just going to jump.
Yeah.
And I'm going to figure that thing out on the way down, make whatever mistakes I'm going to make, and I'm going to bring myself back up with the intel that I created. But once I get to the top of the mountain, I'm going to tell you what happened to me on the way down, so you don't got to jump. Right? That's the gift. Right? I'm going to tell you that I jumped. You can visually see that I jumped. I came back up here all mangled. Right? But I'm going to tell you that you don't necessarily have to do that, because you don't have to do this, X, Y, and Z.
Right.
Why? Because of this. That's called helping people. That's also collaboration.
Yeah.
That's
Can't sell your home and tired of carrying that load? Drop the house. Gutter Properties will buy your house as is with offers up to $300,000. Need serious repairs, liens, taxes, or judgments? We'll work through your unique situation to get that house off your back. During your free, no-obligation appraisal, we maintain social distancing and take every precaution to ensure your experience is safe. Drop the house. Gutter Properties. Call us or visit gutterproperties.com
So
today.
the spirit of elevation is a collaborative sport. We are all playing this game of life together. We all have different positions that we are playing, and we all got different families and people that we are attached to. But at the end of the day, it's all the same game. And we could get further and beyond as a people if we realize that we are better together and that numbers are stronger. But first I got to get you to understand that in just your inner circle. I can't have you looking too far into the future, because then you're going to get overwhelmed. And so even activists, when I used to be pounding the pavement, you get overwhelmed trying to save the world, right? And I had a young man tell me one time, sis, you got to calm down and got to save the people right in front of you. See what I'm saying? You so busy trying to save, you want to ride out to Ferguson, you want to go everywhere where the war is, right? Your heart's right, your mind's right, you're in the right space. But don't overlook the people that are right here who need your help. So save the people around you, right? Tupac even said, if there's one, I'm saving him, right? Save the people around you and let them help you save the rest of the world. But that doesn't mean that I'm by myself now. That's elevation is a collaborative sport. I set out to save the world as Superwoman. I realized immediately that Superwoman can't save the world. But Superwoman can save her family. She can save the people around her. She can save the people who are under the sound of her voice. And if I'm any good at what I'm doing, then people will take from what I'm saying and they will become better. And they will start to use what I'm saying to do better and be better for the people around them. So now we're playing life dominoes. Because if you get better, the people in front of you get better, the people in front of you now get better. See, now we're playing life dominoes. That's the goal.
I like that.
That's the goal.
Life dominoes.
That's the goal. Life dominoes is the goal. That's the goal.
And man, Angel, every single time you just come over here just shifting paradigms. And
Look, we have never been this quiet.
No,
The three of us are literally like,
I just want to have real conversation with the people. The people are out here hurting,
Yeah.
and people have to realize that there is a way out of that space, but you got to think and work your way out of it. And there's 3 things I know you like.
No, you know what?
I'm gonna give you 3. I think I gave you 5 P's before. I'm gonna give you 3 A's this time.
Nah, that's cool.
I'm gonna give you 3 A's this time, and I want because people navigate and gravitate to things that they can remember.
Absolutely.
You feel me now?
Absolutely.
Because you can remember. See, now I'm gonna remember this too, right? If you want to win in your own life and be real with yourself, there's 3 things that you have to do. You have to start acknowledging, right? The first A, what's happening. We can't shun away from it. We can't act like it's not happening. We can't sweep it under the carpet. You got to look that thing and you got to say, this is what we're dealing with. You got to acknowledge it, right? And then you got to have a small conversation with yourself because you have to now accept it.
Yeah.
Because acknowledging and accepting is 2 different things,
Yeah.
right? So I got to acknowledge what is going on. And even in business, you got to reevaluate your business. You got to look and say, these numbers ain't numbering.
Yeah.
Okay? The services are not servicing. Like, what is happening here? You got to acknowledge what's going on. You have to now accept what is happening. And here is where the action happens. You have to now address it.
Yeah.
You have to now address it. And whatever it is that you got to do to address what you have now acknowledged and accept, that's what your course of action is. People say, well, what am I supposed to do? Well, we got to figure out what you're supposed to do. You know how I help people figure out what they're supposed to do? I sit down with them and I ask them, what are we acknowledging? What do we need to acknowledge? What part of this do you need to accept? Even if it's your accountability, through another A in there for you. Even if it's your own accountability, and now we have to address it. Stop thinking that things are just going to make themselves well around you.
Right.
Or that people are going to understand your heart.
Yeah.
Right? Or understand that this is who you are. Or understand what you were trying to say or your intention. Nobody is going to have to understand any of that.
Yeah.
So you have to address it. You
It's
have to address it.
Cliches. that
You
we all
have to be
say.
intentional about your situation. You have to be intentional about what you are presenting to people. And you have to be intentional about telling people how to deal with you.
Yeah.
Here's what I have acknowledged. I don't like it. Here's what I am getting ready to tell you I'm going to accept. I will do this, but this no longer. Here's what we are going to do to address it. We can throw those 3 things on anything God's will. I promise you we will get to a resolve. That's the end game. What is the resolve? Just letting stuff fester and walk around ends up with people and situations and circumstances being weird, strange, and bizarre. Because people are not acknowledging, people are not accepting, and people are not addressing. So the only thing that can happen is for strange, weird, bizarre stuff to happen. There's no rocket science in that. It's one or the other. Choose. And since God gave us all free will, you get to choose daily. You get to wake up and choose who you gonna serve. You get to wake up and choose what you gonna wear, what you gonna be, what you gonna do, how you gonna rock out. You get to choose. So start choosing wisely. Start making choices about your life that's going to put you in a better position to make a better choice tomorrow about the next day. Life dominoes. That's all we're trying to do is get through the moment so that you can get through the day. My mother told me something years ago, and she said, I was having some bad days, some bad times, and I was just too frustrated. And she said, baby, slow down. Stop. I said, well, Ma, what am I supposed to do? I'm like, I just started going crazy. She was like, listen, you have to string together a few good moments. A few good moments to a few good hours, hours to days, days to weeks, weeks to months. But do you see the progression?
Yeah.
I'm not concerned about stringing together a few good months. I'm not. I'm concerned about stringing together a few good moments.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out what made those moments good. Acknowledging it, accepting it, and then addressing it. And then reinventing that wheel. See, we out here trying to figure out what the solution is to a bunch of stuff all the time, when all you gotta do is just keep on recycle what you're doing right.
Yeah.
Keep removing what's wrong and not serving you, and repeat what part of the process is right. Moments to days, days to weeks, weeks to months. By the time you look up, you so engulfed in your process, you ain't got time to hate on nobody else. You ain't got time to do nothing else. You ain't got time to do nothing but win in your own process. You done looked up, it's 3 months later. That's when the win comes. Oh, I done did this for 3 months straight.
Right.
Yo, that is so real.
Right? But you so focused on just the moment.
Yeah.
Right? Because it eliminates the opportunity for you to push yourself in self-depression.
Yes, yes.
Right? Self-anxiety. Self-fear. Right? It eliminates that, because you focus. So I tell people all the time, write it out.
Yeah.
I said it the last time I was here. Write it out. I am a proponent of pen to paper. Write it out. I came today with notes.
Yeah, I know time was. I know time was, Angel. I see.
Look,
Yeah, I don't play around with it. Everybody knows. They look for me to have them.
No facts.
I created a Hustle as a Skill journal with a pen. It's $10. You can have one. I created
And
that
show notes.
because notes are critical. Why am I forcing myself to have to remember the goodness that's in my head when I could just simply write it down? Right? There's a few things that I wanted to make sure that I said to you all. I'm already halfway down the page. Whatever else that we decide to enter into the conversation, I left here accomplishing my goal. I started with elevation as a collaborative sport, and now I'm here at acknowledging, accepting, and addressing. I got a few more things that I'll wiggle in amongst y'all conversation, and I've won for myself. The object is for me to win.
Me too, girl. But you know what? When you just said acknowledging good moments.
Absolutely.
We had a conversation some months ago. We were talking about depression, anxiety, how it all just sometimes can just funnel into something that's so big
it can
and
spiral
powerful.
Immediately.
So what I started doing for myself is every day that I accomplished something, no matter how small. I say today I got up and I did the dishes. I had enough energy to go for a half-a-mile walk. I started doing it every day. By the end of that month, I had the longest list of little accomplishments. And just that little bit of positivity and just speaking that life into myself. And sometimes we are so focused on the negative that we miss all those moments in between, no matter how big or small. Because who thinks, oh, I washed the dishes, that's an accomplishment. For a person that's just been in darkness, that I got up and I did something, that's a major thing. So everything that you said, I'm just over here like.
And the blessing becomes the consistency of the thought. Right? Now, you've been able to acknowledge that me washing the dishes, as small of a task that may or may not be to somebody else, it meant something for me, but it does something more than you just physically washing the dishes. It improves Sam's psyche. Right? It improves Sam's discipline. Right? It improves Sam's self-love for herself, because she can identify an accomplishment for herself. Right? All of these things is what's critically important. People will overlook the fact that it was just the dishes that you washed. I want people to funnel in and be laser funnels on the fact that depression was overcame in that. Anxiety was overcame in that. My mental well-being of am I worthy was overcame in that. And then I was able to put forth in my effort table some level of consistency, some level of discipline, some level of being able to recognize a win for a win. I told Stoney years ago. Shout out to Stoney. I told Stoney years ago. We were out pounding the pavement for some kind of activism, and she had got into a space, and I told her in that moment, small victories count. Small victories count. So stop looking at the defeat of the major project, right? And start counting up the small victories, and let's just focus there. Let's figure out, how do we replicate the small victories, and then if we want to talk business, how do we scale the small victory into a bigger victory? But that means my focus now got to be on nothing but the small victories, which is why it's important that you choose what you're focused on. Which is why it's important that you choose the people that are around you, because you will vicariously be focused on what they're focused on because they're standing next to you. And if they're not being focused on something of positive nature, something of progressive nature, something that's going to help, then you'll get caught up in whatever BS that they got going on, and you will miss your mark. Don't miss your mark. Stay focused. And if you have to rewrite your plan each and every day, that's a pivot.
Yeah.
You're not changing the core, you're just pivoting. Right? I have Post-it notes all around my house, and I put them up everywhere. And I get to move the Post-it notes like a little piece of the puzzle because we're pivoting.
Yeah.
Right? I wanted to do these things today, didn't quite work out that way. I don't throw these things that I didn't get accomplished away. I pivot them and I move them.
Yeah.
Maybe to the next day, maybe I decide that's too overwhelming and I spread them out. I don't know. But you make the adjustments daily. Right? Winning is not all about the end goal.
Right.
Really what the win is the process. And I tell people, so by trade, I work in human resources, and so I've done that for over 20 years. And in people relations and employee relations is what I believe God has given me as a gift. So I do people. I tell people all the time, they're like, what do you do in HR? I do people, right? But I don't manage people, right? I tell my CEO, Kyle, all the time, I don't manage people. I manage the process and the procedure. I can then move people to the appropriate process and procedure, reevaluate and say they're not in the right space, and then move them again. But I don't manage people. You got to be a bad mama jamma to believe arrogantly enough that you can manage people. You can't manage people. People going to do what they want to do, when they want to do it, how they want to do it. Because they people. And people be people. And so if I, in my arrogant stance, feel like if I come to the table and I tell Kyle, I'm trying to, work with him, and I'm like, I can manage people. No, I can't. That's not what I can do. That's not what I can bring to the table. What I can bring to the table is I can manage the process. Now, here we go. For all accord, the accountability goes both ways. Now, do you have any processes that I can manage? You don't have any? Well, we got to start there. We got to start there. So now the tables have turned. It's not what I done brought to the table. What have you brought to the table? You done brought me a whole mess. See what I'm saying? We got to get some processes and procedures so that I can then show you how effectively I can manage the process and procedures. I can then place the people that you have near the processes and procedures, and then we can see, are they right for it?
Yeah.
Do these people need to be removed? I've never had a problem when I worked in corporate America with terminations and HR things of employee relations, because nobody's ever mad at me. They walked into my office and they would tell you up front, like, I know why I'm here. This the last, I know. And I'm not, and they know. Because our last previous meetings, we talked about the process in which you told me that you could do. And I simply told you to go do the process.
Right.
I'm not going to micromanage the process.
Right.
I'm going to give you the autonomy to complete what you told me that you can complete, which is what you told me you can bring to the table. Now, 2 weeks later, if you didn't bring any of that to the table, you ain't mad at me.
Right.
You coming in here like, yeah, I didn't do nothing. I told you that.
And they already know what time it is.
Right. They already know what time it is. That's where you want to be with people always.
Yeah.
You want people to already know what time it is always.
I'm sorry. Come on.
Always.
Look, I was over here with my hands in my pocket like, woo!
That's a whole gym right there. That's business and relationships.
That's life.
Because we life, and because that's what business is. And since the pandemic, a whole lot of us was blessed with a nudge to force us or propel us into entrepreneurship, right? And it was a good thing. I'm happy for my people. Shout out to the culture. And what we realize, though, because we are emotional people, is that who you are is going to be the temperament of your business. So you can't talk business, at least with me, without talking about self. It just don't work for me.
Right.
Yeah.
Right? Now, there are people who can separate it and talk just business. Shouts out to them. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not here to say one way or the other is right or wrong. What I'm saying is that what I have realized from my 43 years of experience and expertise living on this here earth, that you can't do one without the other. That's just me. And I would prefer to have a conversation about the first before we talk business. Right? Because that's the only way that I can see the business being able to withstand what this world has to offer. And my goal is for us to be able to be sustainable.
Right.
Which is why I need you to come being your authentic self.
Right.
So that you can be sustainable. Then you can tell me, you can change business all the time. So we'll talk about brand diversity. Look at here, let's move right on into it. I did a talk a couple of weeks ago about brand diversity because the brand now is hustle is a skill, right? I can now put that on anything and people now identify it with me, right? I can say this is a hustle or a skill mic, put a little label on it and people can start selling mics, right? People identify with me. Now they're going to trust that this mic is of good quality. Is going to do what I said it's going to do on the package because not that they believe in the actual brand itself, but they believe in me. They trust me. They trust what I have told them thus far, and I haven't let them down. I have been authentically me, and I have given them what has been the best of me. So now hustle as a skill can do a number of different things. I try on clothes all the time, and I be like, highest thrift. I show people that I just go shopping. There's a lot of people who thrift and go shopping, right? But highest thrift shopping is cute and important and fun for people because they know it's me. So they want to know, well, how am I going to put that same t-shirt on with something else and go to a gala? How am I going to put the exact same t-shirt on and go to church on Sunday? Go to a pop-up on Saturday? Backyard barbecue on Monday, right? They want to know, how did I end up getting those jeans for $3, right? Like, they're interested in the process now because they are now invested in the brand. I'm a notary, and so I do signatures all the time. I pull up anywhere. My notary business is called Highest Signature. Brand diversity doesn't mean I reinvent the wheel. It is figuring out how to get my 7 streams of income with one brand. Right? And that is what brand diversity is to me. And so people call me sometimes and they'll be like, hey, yo, we love your energy. We want you to host something or moderate something. Fine. Guess who's coming? Highest host. Right? Guess who's going to get paid? Right? Like, that's how that's going to happen. Everybody knows I keep the lights and the gas on because I'm a real estate investor. You know that. So I own properties. I'm a landlord. And so I put people in homes. Those homes are highest properties, right? The brand itself is Highest Enterprises. Highest is simply the initials for hustle is a skill. It's Highest Enterprises and was always Highest Enterprises first because I don't have to explain the word hustle when I go ask the bank for money. See what I'm saying, B?
No.
I go ask what she said.
Right? I go asking the banks or financial institutions for money. I can't walk in there and tell you I need $100,000 and I'll be like, well, I want you to give it to hustle.
Right. Exactly.
Because now I gotta describe and do and get you over the broom to understanding what hustle is. Now hustle is simply, right? Now people have a negative connotation to it, but that is what it is, right? It is simply whatever you bring to the table, your gift, your talent, your passion. What is it that you do? That is your hustle. Your only job is to be the real MVP of whatever that is until you decide to change lanes. But I don't have time to talk to that at Chase Bank, at PNC. And I don't have time to go through that hustle isn't a negative word. I need you to give me the 100 stacks I just asked you for. I need you to give me the mortgage I just asked you for so that I can go do what I need to do for my people, my family, my community. So Highest Enterprises has always been the brand, right? The visual face of it because the story is hustle is a skill, right? And then I was able to manipulate that and turn that into different ways to get income for myself, which is what everybody should be doing no matter what you're doing, trying to figure out how do you keep your family sustainable. That's brand diversity. And when you talk about it in a marketing standpoint and they say, well, the goal is to get 7, I don't know who came up with the number. 7, 8, 6, I don't care, but multiple, we'll call it that, multiple streams of income. Why would I, in my opinion, beat myself over the head to find 7 different multiple streams of income that are not based out of the same brand? Right? Now they can be different things, different avenues in which I play, which I do. However, it's all the same brand. I'm only marketing and advertising and dumping my life savings into one brand. Right? I can sell pens tomorrow. I can decide to teach. Highest teachers will be coming. I can create an ebook. It'll be the highest ebook. Like the brand is like Denzel said, it's Pepsi now. Right? People associate it with me and they trust me, which is why I keep my name good. Right? Because the moment somebody not starts to distrust me, they lose trust in the brand. Right? And I don't need them to lose trust in the brand. So what do I have to do? I gotta show up authentically me. I can't show up like me. I can't show up like this young lady here. I can't show up like Sam. And y'all all three beautiful people. But people are not gonna trust if I come and try to mimic you.
Right.
They're not gonna trust that.
Right.
That's sketchy. It's dicey.
Yeah.
Right? I gotta get them to trust me. And I don't want to have to think about that. You can be you naturally.
Right.
So that's what I'm going to do. That's what I want everybody to do.
My mom always told me as a kid, she would say, if you're not being who you are, you're supposed to be only be yourself. You can only be 10% long before the real you comes out.
Come on.
You know what I'm saying?
Come on.
And once you
Absolutely.
try.
Absolutely. And people say, and we're going to dispel this. This is just me. These are angelisms. This is just me. People be like, it's lonely at the top. Why? Why? Like, start asking ourselves. Well, that's how I got the whole, when I started to talk about the mud, it's like, we get out there. I'm like, why?
Right.
Like, start asking yourself questions. I'm gonna be his ride or die. Why we dying?
Ask some questions, right?
Ask the right questions. Why do we got to? Why is death on the table?
Yeah.
Why we can't ride and change lanes? Why we can't ride and figure out this ain't the right direction? Why do we have to ride and die? Like, what you talking? I'm not that. You understand what I'm saying? It's lonely at the top. Why, B? Why? Why is it lonely at the top? No, it's not lonely at the top. The people at the top are collaborating.
Absolutely.
The people at the top are winning, securing the bag, chasing new ideas, trying to figure out how to elevate. The people at the top doing just fine. They're not lonely.
Right.
I'm going to tell you why people say that in the culture, that it's lonely at the top. Because they have not healed from the fact that they've had to separate from the people that were here with them and now they've gone. So really what we should be saying is that it's lonely without them.
Without them,
Yes.
right? Ooh.
Right? It's not lonely at the top, but you don't care nothing about the people
Go
up
up
there.
there, yeah.
Because they up there.
Right.
But you don't care nothing about fraternizing with the people that are up there because of the new faces and new experiences and new places. You don't have the time for that in your spirit. What you really want to say is that it's lonely without the people I grew up with.
Right.
It's lonely without the people that I've known all my life.
Right.
It's lonely without the people that I wanted to come with me.
Right.
I tried to drag with me some of them.
Mm-hmm.
That's when it's lonely. It's not lonely at the top.
Right.
No, it's not. It's lonely because the people that you want at the top with you ain't coming.
Okay.
Or they're not coming fast enough, or they're not never coming.
Right.
And now it's lonely up there. Because you down here looking for them to keep coming and they not coming when you should be looking at this whole world of new opportunity.
Right.
They'll come if they come. If they don't, they don't. But it's not lonely at the top.
Right.
It's not. And I want the culture to stop saying that. Because it's not lonely at the top. There's a lot of stuff I want people to stop saying because we're just saying stuff because historically it's been given to
Right.
us and we just repeating history. But we in a position now that we are all well-rounded enough and information is at a fingertip touch.
Yeah.
But you got to start asking people questions. Why?
Right.
Yeah.
Why?
Right.
Can you elaborate on that?
Mhm.
Can you give me any more detail on that?
Right.
I'm not comfortable with how you're saying that. Is there anything else that you can give me to validate that? Why?
And that's when you get a whole bunch of
And that's when you gotta stop saying stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You gotta stop saying stuff because as long as I'll be like, why? I'm trying to get to the top.
Yeah.
So you deterring me from getting to the top. Talking about it's lonely up there, girl. I'm like, because who want to go somewhere it's lonely?
Right.
Right.
I'm
Exactly.
like, well, why is it really lonely up there? Because they look like they having hella fun.
Right.
Okay? It look like hella money being spent. It look like good times are happening. It look like people are paying off debts and bills.
Okay.
People are traveling up top. People are building up top. People are making new relationships up top. Look like I want to get up top.
You know?
kind of want to go up there.
I kind of want to go up there. And for a couple of years, I let you deter me from going up there full-fledged, full force, putting all of my weight behind my movement to get up there because you kept telling me it was lonely when you should have said it was going to be lonely without you.
Man, y'all understand. I was looking forward to this interview. Like, I got new angels gonna bring it.
What do you think I said?
I know.
I said
Sam,
whatever I gotta
Sam,
do Tuesday. No, I'll
Let's
be there.
go.
Yeah, no.
Listen,
Yeah.
I ain't for everybody, but whoever I'm for, they gonna get real conversation because I don't really got time to play games. I believe that people should live their best life.
Mm.
And I believe that you are obligated to do everything in your power to live your best life.
Yeah.
And anybody that is around you who is making you feel like your best life is not worthy, you need to readjust and move away from them.
Mm.
You need to redefine what your central location looks like. You might even need to redefine who you are and figure out what you really want, because you may not know. I've met tons of adults and they just now figuring out what they really want out of life.
Yeah.
And that's not a bad thing.
Right.
It's just a sad thing.
Yeah.
But we here now,
Yeah.
right? And time is the only thing that is not promised to us. So it would behoove you to immediately acknowledge, accept, and address that shit immediately.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that you can now move forward
Yeah.
into the life that you want to create for yourself.
Mm.
That up life.
Yeah.
That life up there where they lied to you and told you it was lonely. It's not lonely up there. Get up there, bro.
Mhm.
Get up there, sis. It ain't lonely up there. It is your job to get up there. Do whatever you have to do to get up there and be well in the process.
Mm.
Heal yourself. I don't believe that we're ever fully healed, but heal yourself as much as you possibly can so that when you get up there, you are as healed as you can be. When you start collaborating with people and supporting people, that you are as healed as you possibly can be. And that energy will be reciprocated. That's universal.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes, it will.
For sure.
Look, we all.
I'm like, wait.
For sure.
Because I'm taking it all in, and it's making me just I'm glad of the progress I made as an individual, right? But it's letting me know I still have some work to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And,
We all do it.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. And like I said, but I just love like I said, the shift is a shift. Every time Angel's gonna do the shift, and I've seen Angel speak in other places, and she brings it every single time.
Every time.
I appreciate y'all.
I met her at
That's
a
how
meeting
I'm
we had for some students at a school I was working at.
Mhm.
And you know, when you talking to kids, it's like over their head. I'm in the back of the corner like,
That's humble.
and that was almost 10 years ago.
That's humble.
We did not know each other.
That's humble.
And ever since then, I'm like, wherever this lady pops up at, she's speaking somewhere, she on this, I'm listening, I'm tuning in.
That's humble. Thank you.
Because I will never forget that look. Your hair was still budding. Like it was a long time ago.
And that was 10 years ago.
And I
That was
literally,
10
to
years
this
ago.
day, I will never forget some of the words that you said.
I appreciate that.
I'm
That's
so
humble.
sincere about that. Cause I was sitting back there like looking at the kids like, did y'all hear that? They like, yeah, what time is lunch? I'm like,
They
whole word.
They want to listen.
no, but somebody heard you in that room, and it was
That's
me.
what's up.
Yes,
That's what's up. I appreciate it. Well, I will leave you all with this, the pull-up experience. I appreciate being here. The first time I came, it was an amazing experience. I'm here again because these people have done what should be commemorated for real. The pull-up experience gives a voice to people in the community that are doing the work, who are finding their way, who are opening up businesses, who have things that they want to say and share with the community. And this is what community building looks like. So shout out to the pull-up experience. Shout out to the 100+ episodes that they have put on air for us.
You're 135.
135.
135, whoa, whoa, right? Shout out to them for doing that. Shout out to yourselves for tuning in and listening. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure that you are locked in. Share these videos, not just mine, but share all of the pull-up experience videos with your people, with your family, your friends, because somebody is always saying something, even if it's not for you, it's for somebody that you know.
Yes.
So if you hear something, you like, you know what, my cousin need to hear this one. Send that one and ship it off to them immediately. And that is another form of support. I also want you all to know that failure is going to be inevitable. Do not fear it. Failure is only progress in motion. So keep moving forward.
So you know what? Since you were here last, I stepped my game up a little bit. I got some simple questions that I like to ask.
Let's go.
And I got a specific question for you, Angel, because I'm gonna ask one of the simple questions I asked. Let's say how we changed the narrative of collaboration. You have blew it out the water. I ain't gonna ask that question.
Yeah.
We're not gonna
Let's
ask
go.
that question. But I have a question for you. It's specific just for you, Angel. Now that you are a model for collaborating, who are those people that you want to collaborate in the city with?
Oh.
Ooh.
On top of
Look, I'm over here like this. I'm like, ooh, please say me. Please say me.
Oh, dope. Listen, you know, my spirit is in collaboration. So I want anybody who wants to get in where we fit in, let's do it. That's an open invitation.
There we go.
Anybody who
There we
feels like there is something that I can bring to the table with you all, or that you can bring to my table, let's go. I want it to be a domino effect always of collaborating. So what I will say though, this is a very specific question, right? It's a very specific question. There are, and I don't know them by name, right? But there are women, right? Because I happen to be a woman. Hey, right? There are women that are working and doing the work that are not getting the publicity that others are. And I would love to work and collaborate with anybody under the radar.
Yeah.
Right? Anybody under the radar. I don't care who it is for real, right? I don't know. Now for the men, if you feel like I can add something somewhere to one of your tables, then shots out, come grab me, I'm there. But I know on the woman side of things, like I know what I can bring.
Yeah.
Right? Like I can walk in that piece firm on my feet, like, hey yo, let's go. So if there are women out there that may be watching this, or you know someone that's associated with you who you know is out here doing some work, or just got some things going on, or just need some pep, right? Like just need some help themselves, I would love to be in that space, right? Anybody under the radar.
I'm calling her tomorrow. Y'all don't sleep on that, because it's not a lot of people that's just willing to put themselves out there like that. Because a lot of people are, oh, I'll help this group or just that group. But she's saying this to everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
Don't sleep on it.
Yeah. And the superstars of the world that's doing their thing in the city, I love them and I rock with them. They know who they are.
Yeah.
Right? I rock with them. Right? But they got what they need.
Absolutely.
They ain't who Harriet went back for.
And that's the title. That's not what Harriet went back for.
Okay.
Right.
You know
So
what?
I'm here for the underdogs. I'm here for those who need some light. So let's go.
I'm about to say that's a real angel answer, you know?
Yeah. Let's go. I can only be me.
Yeah, that's what's up. I was about to say she be her authentic self right there.
Let's go. What's your next question?
Okay, and this is once again, this is a question I ask everybody, but I love this question because I know Angel's gonna hit us out the water. But like I say every time, one of the questions I like asking on the show since you've been on, the legacy question, because as we know, Lindsay Hupsel, he had an interview a little while back. He talked about the things he wanted to accomplish before he passed away. I seen an interview and he did that and then some or whatnot. And like you said, that was never for all of us. But one thing we all gonna do, we gonna leave behind something. Now, whatever you get or bad is up to us, right? But what legacy you want to leave behind as Angel Jacobs, but then also leave behind for Hustle to Skill?
Oh, that's dope. That's dope. That's dope.
Turn the mic up.
That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. That's dope. All right, so I'm gonna start with Hustle as a Skill because that's kind of where the brand started. So we know that Hustle as a Skill was my brother's mantra.
Yeah.
I gave some life, some legs, if you will, to it, so that he would be commemorated.
Yeah.
So, because what better way to represent and honor a great man than to give life to his legacy?
Yeah.
So for me, for Hustle as a Skill, I just never want it to die.
Yeah.
Right? And it doesn't always have to be apparel. I don't really care what it morphs into. But my prayer for Hustle as a Skill is that it stay morphing. Right?
Yeah.
That it stays evolving into something that can continually be brought back to Hustle as a Skill, and that original story can be told. So that's my legacy that I want to leave for Hustle as a Skill. For me, myself, I'd like to believe, I don't necessarily coin a talent of mine. Like some people have a talent that they do, like do something really good.
God bless you, big talent, Angel.
Right. I appreciate you. I've never been really able to coin what that talent is, but what I will say in strength is that I am really good at the relationship part with people.
Yeah.
So for me, in terms of my legacy, if I died tomorrow, I would want everybody at my funeral to at least have the same thought process and say that girl supported everybody.
Yeah.
That girl loved everybody and she gave of herself.
That's good.
And that would be enough for me. So if I could improve somebody else's legacy, that would be a gift that I would leave of me, of Angel on this earth, is that I was able to help other people be great, which is why I ask people, what do you need from me to be great today? And if I could leave that as a legacy about Angel, I would be good.
That's that other good
Ah,
And I know people pencils is blazing, notebooks blazing, but what are 3 things you want someone to take away from tonight's interview tonight?
Elevation is a collaborative sport. Easy, off top of the dome.
Right.
Let's not ever leave from the whole reason why we started this.
Right.
I led with it when I sat down. Everything must tie back to elevation is a collaborative sport. That should free you.
Yeah.
That should break a stronghold. That should break a chain on you. You should loosen up your shoulders on that one. Like, ooh, I ain't really got to do this by myself. Elevation is a collaborative sport. Boom, right there. I also want people to leave here understanding that failure is progress in motion. Right? Do not be scared to fail.
Yeah.
Right? I want you to challenge yourself in ways that failure might even be an option. Right? If you win, you win. But if you fail, I want you to keep moving. I want you to understand that it is just the journey and the process is just to get through it and to keep moving forward. The third thing, if I wanted people to leave here, elevation is a collaborative sport, progress, celebrate your small wins. Right? Shout out to Sam for that. Yeah, shout out to Sam for that. Celebrate your small wins. It is actually the only way to survive. Right? If I'm thinking about it and I'm thinking about it clearly in the moment here, right? Unscripted. I want you to celebrate your small wins because small wins build to bigger wins and it gains focus on how you won before. And then all you have to do is keep repeating the cycle. So celebrate your small wins. It will keep you from being void. It will keep you from being depressed. It will keep you from being overwhelmed with this world. And this world is overwhelming. So if you focus on your small wins and how to build them, you will always stay winning. So do that.
I'm sorry.
Is it broke?
Yeah, it might have been broke.
I'm gonna say we done finally broke it.
Finally broken. No, once again, Angel, we can't thank you enough. And I say every time in the room with you, anytime I'm in your presence, it is always a good time. It's always good.
Always.
It's
Good energy.
It's good.
Always.
Good energy. Let's go.
Always.
I'm here for it.
You are a friend of the pod.
I am a friend of the pod experience. Pull up on me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And for the longest, Angel was like holding a record for like the most views, most shares.
Let's
You know what I'm saying? And I'm about to say, you see why, right?
See why?
So yeah, I can see this one running up. Y'all running up this
Running
one.
up,
You know what I'm saying? So lastly, where can people reach you? Where can they get their Hustles of Skill merchandise? All that?
Absolutely. So, the most visual that I'm on is my personal platform. That's a really bad business move, but we can talk about that later. But A Lady J is my personal platform. You can reach me on that on any way. You can see where I'm at. I'm always posting where I'm at, who I'm supporting. I'm always somewhere pulling up.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
A Lady J. The brand itself has a page. It's My Hustle is a Skill. And the website is hustleisaskill.com. I am also a notary, and so if you need my services, all you have to do is call me 216-926-7955, and I will pull up.
Listen, I can't thank you enough, Angel, because it's once again amazing interview, amazing time, and I know for myself, and I think my daughter in the audience today, I know she over here just you know what I'm saying, soaking all in, you know what I'm saying, and I'm glad she's even here to witness this.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying?
for sure.
So,
You enjoy yourself, Naya? Up top for the home team.
So I can't thank you enough, Angel. So what they say, we gotta pay some bills, right? So let's pay some bills, right? Guys, July 15th and 16th, we are showing you how to create your own podcast. 135 episodes later, great guests like Angel, and we're showing you how you can do it yourself or whatnot. So 2 days, that's how much information you got to do 2 days, but it's all going to be a great way to take it from conception to, like Angel said, system and processes to how you can get some money in your pocket.
Come on.
So listen, guys, make sure you get your tickets. They're $20 right now. We reduced the price because we want to make sure everyone's able to get it to it. We don't want nobody to not get to it, right? But remember, seating is limited, so get your tickets, okay? Lastly, guys, September 23rd, the key at 2U Wines, they're throwing the very first beer and wine festival at Kane Park. It's gonna be music. It's gonna be lit. It's gonna be a great time. We're gonna like the cookout that you got invited to. We're inviting you to our cookout, okay? So please be there. The link will be in the bio, and please get your tickets also for that. And if you're a vendor, also please sign up for that also, because she's looking for vendors also. So please sign up for that. I think that's everything, guys.
Think so?
Listen, guys, we can't thank y'all. We want to thank you especially for, once again, y'all running subscribers. I think last time I checked, we were like 6,300 subscribers.
Yeah, run it up.
Listen, it was just a 6,000. Like it keeps growing, and I want to thank y'all because y'all make this worthwhile, and I thank you. We thank you.
Yes.
Amen.
For taking the time out to watch great stories like Angels and just and get a part of this wisdom that our guests are giving to you guys.
Oh yeah.
So we thank y'all, and we'll see y'all next time. All right, peace.
Peace.